What's up, YouTubes? Maximus G here again, and today I've got for you guys a little starter build that you guys can use in Season 6 of Diablo 3 to help get you through your wizard troubles in the beginning as you're trying to get your Firebird set. So, a Firebird set is probably going to be a lot more ideal for damage for farming later on, but what do all the guys do who don't have a Firebird set yet, right? This here I've managed to get is the Delsere's Magnum Opus set. So it's not Firebirds, but this is what I've been using basically so far to, it farms Torment 6, and it's not terrible. So this is what I'm going to use as a means to an ends to get my Firebird set, and so far it's not that bad. So this is the Pre-Firebird new build that you guys can use to get yourself started in Season 6. Help get your Firebird set going, and it's totally viable in group play as well. So I'm using Shock Pulse with Power Affinity, just for a little bit of Arcane generation if I run out. I'm using Arcane Orb with Frozen Orb, because, oh yeah, I love that. That's my favorite spell from Diablo 2. I don't know about you guys, but I love Frozen Orbs and the shreddingness. It is my favorite spell. I love spamming these from Diablo 2. Who didn't love that? And then we got the Slow Time with the Time Warp, so they get caught up in that, take more damage. We got the Teleport with the Wormhole. We can teleport twice. Archon, we don't want to not have this on our bar. Archon is so strong. It's so strong, and even if we don't have enough cooldown to keep this up permanently yet and stuff, we still want this on our bar for sure. And there is a rune that is you can use Pure Power will reduce the cooldown of it by another 20 seconds, so you can use it more often. So I find that's pretty helpful. Because you want to be able to use that to run over elite packs, but when you don't have your Archon up, you'll still be able to use to kill stuff. Magic Weapon, you could switch this out for some other ability if you want. I just liked it because it increases my damage just a little more. And I'm using Glass Cannon, Unstable Anomaly, just in case. It's really a downer when you're just going through stuff and all of a sudden one guy gets a lucky shot off on you and you go down and it's like, oh god. So I like the Unstable Anomaly. I'm using Astral Presence, Lecture Arcane, some Generation, and Evocation for some cooldown because, yeah, we have almost no cooldown here with barely any Paragon points. And some bad gems. This is like the starter of the starter builds, guys. So, I've got the Bane of the Powerful up to 25. This is probably one of the best things that I've done so far. So there is going to be some extra elite damage in here, and that damage buff when I down the elite packs. But this really isn't necessary, it just helps. Legendary gems are not even necessarily needed for this, they just help. So, we've got those covered, we've got the passives covered, and now I'm just going to give it a quick little run through of the gear. So, I've got some cooldown spec on my shoulders, and I've got attack speed spec there, but critical hit damage or cooldown. Eventually this will be cooldown, will be perfect right there. Make sure you get your crit chance, something like that, on your bracers. This is what they would eventually want to look like, but whatever elemental damage type you're going with would be best. I just happen to have Arcane on there. That's just the best I've got. And then we've got our Leoric Signet. Yeah, some damage in there, and a socket for our legendary gem. Excellent. And same deal with this one here. And once I had enough gems to reroll, I'd probably get rid of that area damage and throw on some critical hit damage too. This is a Ring of Elements. This is a fairly common ring, and almost everybody can find one of these things and use it until you can get yourself a Grandeur ring and take that passive. And we got boots here. You're going to want armor instead of all res on your gear, but make do with whatever the best you got, right? I highly suggest capping out your movement speed as soon as you can. So 12% movement speed there, and then my Paragon points, I've just slapped them up and just topped it up right there. With offense, here I've got my cooldown going to start, all res. The only reason I'm not bumping this into armor is because if I actually had armor on my armor, if there was actually armor on these pieces of gear here and stuff, then increasing my armor percentage would actually help me. But since I don't really right at this point, then I'm just putting it into all res and trying to increase my magic damage until I can get some better gear with armor on it. And then the Paragons, and with utility, I'm using resource cost reduction. Really any of these could help you out. The only reason I like the resource cost reduction is because these arcane orbs are pretty heavy on the arcane power, so this is just reducing the cost of it for me so I can get a little bit more out there. Okay, so we've got that, and I was fortunate enough to, yeah, get some Nemesis bracers so I can spawn some elites when I tap those shrines. And this weapon is not fancy at all. This is just not even an ancient weapon. Like, look at this. This gear is not great, guys. But even with this substandard gear, we can still get through T6. It's not Torment Dex, but it's a means to an ends. So let's see the thing in action now. This is for all the guys out there just getting started. And they ended up getting themselves a Delsere set before they got themselves a Firebird set. So the trick to this is basically everything that's caught up in your slow time is going to take massive damage. Anything outside of that slow time bubble doesn't really take much damage at all. But everything inside that slow time bubble takes massive damage. With those frozen orbs, you can spam them. Out of arcane, yeah. There we go. See, and he goes down. There goes the champion. One of the great things with this set too is using your arcane orbs refreshes the cooldown of your slow time. You'll see how it's cooling down every time I lob out one of those things. Slow time's great for catching those succubus balls and all those range things that hurt so much in them. But you also got to make sure that you get the mobs to stand in them. They have to be standing in it, and that can be a bit of a pain. But a little practice, and you can get it no problem. And the great that those bubbles cover a large area as well, right? So you can cover a pretty large area, and they'll stay up. But again, the matter is actually the mobs got to be standing in it, otherwise they're really not going to take that much damage, right? You can cast bubbles, and then another tip that I would recommend too is, like, you know, if you've got a bunch of mobs all jumping trying to get on top of you to kill you, throw a bubble on yourself, and then let that Archon go. Brr, brr, smash, smash. Laser beams and explosions. Oh god, this Archon is so strong. You know, even with the Veers, we still love this Archon. Alright, now we got the bubble back up. There's my unstable anomaly going off. Kept me alive, thank you! Of course, of all the riffs I gotta get, it's gotta be one of these nasty ones with the succubi. We got bees and nasty things, but oh gosh, thank God we got the slow time to catch all those things in there, and then run around them and don't run through them. Slow time bubble, make a nice little bottleneck. Stand in it. And with these frozen orbs, see how they shred that ice out everywhere? So it really doesn't require much accuracy is one of the advantages of the ice orbs. Like you don't have to aim it really. I mean, as long as you're throwing it basically into the time warp bubble, it's gonna spin around and it's gonna shred everything that's inside. Alright, let's blow these guys up. There. Go Archon. Boom. 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 Yeah. Boof. 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 Try and get the timing of that explosion down too. You don't want to be just spamming that button, otherwise you're not going to be casting that ability as soon as it comes up. It's really more of a matter of pulsing it every good 1 second, as opposed to just hitting the button as fast as you can, because that will not make the spell go off as fast as it can go off. It's really more a matter of timing than just spamming that key. Go check her out. And we throw them in there, nice little bottleneck here. Spam, frozen orbs. Oof, down they go. So you can see it's enough to kill elite packs. And it's strong enough we can even take the Realm Guardian down too. I don't have a whole lot of movement speed on me. It will clear the packs depending on how fast you get. And lucky you get with the shrines will determine this, how fast you actually get through it. But it's strong enough to kill the mobs, to make them explode, to grab the balls. And you can totally jump into a group with this and start playing with some dudes as well. Get your gear nice and fast and carry on through the season with hopefully a Firebird set. But until then, this works. Alrighty, maybe give this a try, guys, if you just happen to get with this instead of getting with the Firebird set first. Alrighty, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Catch you later.